Hey, this is Fish, and I am back in the tank. I love getting in the tank. I am absolutely just thrilled that different people from the community that I meet, I get an opportunity, or I think it's an opportunity. I'm not sure. We'll find out if Jennifer thinks it's an opportunity when we get done talking to her. But I have Jennifer Lizardo with me, and I had met Jennifer before, but didn't know she writes children's books. And so I've interviewed some other children's book authors, but I really wanted to get an opportunity. She's got a couple of books written, and we're just going to talk out. We're going to find out, who is Jennifer? How are you this morning?
Hi, Bob. I'm well. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Well, when I had met you, and I can't even remember where I met you.
Okay, let me stop right there.
Okay.
I actually met you in the year 2000.
What?
Yes. I know you don't remember me, but I, of course, remember you. Who could forget you?
Oh, I don't know. Is that a good remembrance?
I moved here in 2000, and I was looking for childcare for my daughter. And you had the preschool.
What's your daughter's name?
Well, her name is Miranda. However, she was only 2 years old, so she wasn't old enough for your program at the time. But I did have the opportunity to meet you. And
you worked in the bank.
Correct. Wow.
I do remember you, and I remember your daughter.
Yes.
Wow, that was... Okay, well, I just got a revelation. That's amazing.
Yes, that was quite some time ago. You look the same, of course.
Well, you were kind. So where's she at now?
So my daughter is going to be 26 on the 15th of this month. And she has blessed me with two beautiful granddaughters.
You're spoiled now.
So, yes, I had the opportunity to go to Virginia last month and visit with them, meet the newest one. She was born on New Year's Eve. So, yeah, it's been quite some time.
Wow. So, but if I remember right, you actually moved away for a while.
No?
I've
lived in Yuba Sutter area since 2000. Well, I mean, if you count moving to Live Oak, it's moving away.
Oh, yeah. So Live Oak is like way out there.
Yes.
Well, how in the world, with everything going on, I mean, that like now my mind is going, that's amazing. So at what point, though, you know, because obviously you worked in a bank, you've worked in a restaurant, you worked probably other places.
Real estate,
but, yeah. But at what point did you say, I think I want to write?
Well, I can tell you for certain that I've been reading since as long as I can remember. I was one of those annoying children in class where the teacher would ask, who wants to volunteer to read? And I was always like, me, pick me, I want to read out loud. And everybody else was like, oh, go for it. So
yeah, really? We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here.
So I always loved reading. I'd always dreamt of becoming an author, and it never came to fruition. You know, life gets in the way, things like that. Mm-hmm. But I had a situation with a particular animal that I'd rescued. So back up a little bit, I do animal rescue. And the duck that I had, she was born with a rare condition called scissorbeak. And most people haven't heard of it. And this was actually a condition where her top beak grew in the opposite direction of her bottom. Over time, it just got worse and worse and worse. So in the wild, in the natural, she would have passed away. However, she was with me. So I worked diligently to find the right foods to feed her, to help her to grow, become stronger, get her feathers. And she was actually what inspired me to write my first children's book. And that is the one that is called Fran The Different Duckling.
So you named her.
Her name is Fran, and she's very special. She lived indoors for a very long time because she was so small, and ducks they're not waterproof until they get their feathers. So she lived inside. I hand fed her. And once I got the proper nutrition down and she started to grow and get her feathers, then she was able to go outside. And it was the most amazing thing, Bob. I would get home and I would call her, Fran, Fran, and she would come flying through the property and land in my arms.
Oh, come on.
She just associated
So
me
you
with
actually, because she was so little, you became mom.
I did.
Oh,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yes, hand feeding her every day. And she would come up to the sliding glass door, jump up and down, peck at the window to let me know that she was hungry. And she was just an amazing.
Did you have to do something with the beak to get it to grow back, or do they just eat like that?
It was
They live
a
with it?
situation where that she was going to have to live with it. I did contact a veterinarian who, for a very hefty price, would consider doing some sort of operation to correct it. However, he wasn't going to be able to do it until she was fully grown, because until she was fully grown, the beak would continue to grow.
Oh, grow the
in
wrong way. Got it.
Right. So she was just amazing, and she just inspired me because she was so brave and so strong and went through so much struggle. And it kind of reminded me of, I felt like her message was that not everybody looks the same on the outside.
Oh.
Like you and I, we don't look the same.
You're really
everybody
glad
looks
of that.
different, but beauty does not come from the outside. Beauty comes from the inside. And she's a very beautiful soul, and her beauty just came through in that fashion. And I thought it was a really important message to write about, so that small children could read and know that it doesn't matter if I don't look like you and you don't look like me and we all look different, that we're all beautiful on the inside.
We have a tendency to want to simplify things to the point where, no, this is beauty. That's it. This is beauty. And so you're absolutely right. And because we're all different. And I would think that with animals, that sometimes I was just talking to somebody about their dog. They've got a relatively new puppy. And I said, just because the dog is a certain breed, some of its conduct will be that way. But whether people believe it or not, animals have personalities.
Absolutely.
They are
1000%.
who they are.
Yeah.
And if you take the time to find that out, it changes everything.
It does.
You know? And so did you stay rescuing animals? Did the duck bring you forward?
Well, she definitely wasn't my first and definitely not my last.
Do you live on a farm?
I do, a rescue farm. So I have currently 6 dogs, 5 cats, a numerous amount of ducks, chickens. I have pigeons. I have goat. I have, quite a few. I have a baby squirrel right now. We've rescued raccoons in the past. That was fun.
Yeah, they're very different because they have that opposing thing going on.
Yes,
They
love
can
to
get
live
into
next to me.
everything.
Yes. Night herons, green herons, quails, pigeons. We really just taken any and all animals, which is actually why we decided to open our nonprofit organization. So that way it will help to fund these animal endeavors that I've
What's
taken
the
on.
name of your nonprofit?
Animal Instincts Wildlife Rescue. And yeah, so we're just
I
getting
thought
that
you would
launched.
call it Fran and Friends.
Fran and Friends.
Fran's feathered friends, although you have other animals as well.
Fran is very special. And in fact, a lot of people don't know, not only did I write the children's book for her and about her, but she's also in the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum in San Francisco.
What?
Yeah. Another shock for you, Bob.
You are just deeper than you look, right? You're just kind of high, and you talk to you, and you go, oh.
Yeah.
Because I remember when you came over to the table and said, hey, did you know I write children's books? And I went, no, I didn't. And now I'm just finding out I've known you a lot longer than I thought I did, right? I was like, oh. So, you know, for me, I think loving animals is easy, right? There's just something about them. But, you know, honestly, as much as I would love to hug a cheetah, right? You have to be aware that they may not want to be hugged. And so when you rescue animals, are some of them a little bit more difficult? Maybe they've been mistreated, and so you have to tread softly with them.
Yes.
Because I know you talked about Fran. Now she had a disability, right? The beak thing. But some of them that you rescued, have they just right? They're not domesticated. Some of these are not domesticated animals.
Right.
Right.
Right. And a lot of it is like in the name of the nonprofit, animal instinct. You have to have the instinct to know what to do with each individual animal. You have to read the body language. You have to be prepared going in, like depending on say it's a heron, right? Wearing gloves is important because of the talons, and each animal comes with its own set of rules, and the way that you handle it, is dependent on if it's injured, if it's young, if it's adolescent, if it's older, a lot of different things come into factor.
So when you guys get your first cheetah, you'll call me.
And you can come give it a hug.
You can call him Chester. So the second book that you have is about a Great Dane.
It's about a Great Dane.
A big dog.
Yes.
Did you have one of those too?
It's based on a true story, Bentley, and I still have Bentley. He inspired me because of his great size. He's very large, and it got me thinking about in the terms of children's books about how there's this premise that everything has to be the same size, one size fits all, and that's not the case.
No, not at all.
That's not the case. There's no such thing as too big. There's no such thing as too small. And because of Bentley's size, it inspired me to write about his adventures as being larger, and to learn that it's not about the size of your body that counts. It's about the size of your heart.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. My boys, and I know I'm going to forget the name of the children's book, but it's about a little monkey, and its owner always wore yellow with a big top hat. I don't know why I can't read.
Is it Curious George?
Yes, Curious George. And so all the stories about Curious George were about George's curiosity, getting him in trouble, and how the owner was very kind to him. And so, with my boys, not that was all, there was other things. I wanted books that would spark in them a natural curiosity, or spark it, and so they know it's okay. I don't have to feel bad because I want to go. So you have to have a bit of that, or you wouldn't take on all these different animals. You would be, okay, we're rescuing dogs.
Right.
You'd have stopped at dogs.
Yes.
And so there has to be a curiosity in the animal kingdom, right, for you. So do you guys like to go camping and get out in the wild? Is that part of your...
Well, I very much love hiking and nature, and I love traveling. Traveling is my most favorite thing to do. I love to travel the world, see new things, see new cultures. And recently we did go, I had an item on my bucket list, and that was to go swimming with the pigs.
The pigs?
Yeah.
I've heard of swimming with the dolphins, but not swimming with the pigs.
Yes. So,
all right. Where does one go to swim with pigs? I didn't even know pigs swim. That's like,
oh my gosh.
And how did you find out that pigs swim?
Oh, I get this reaction a lot. So yeah, I've already done this swimming with the dolphins. And so there's an island called Exuma in the Bahamas, and they have pigs. And I'm not talking about cute little tiny potbelly pigs. I'm talking big, wild boars and pigs that are on this particular island. And you get boated in there and you get to swim with them.
And they're cool with it.
And well, some of them could be a little bit persnickety once the food runs out. And,
Oh, yeah. It's like, where's more food?
yeah, but it was amazing. It was on my list to do, and I could say that I've done it. And, you know, and in this tour that we did, not only did I swim with pigs, but I swam with sharks.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a neat experience. Sharks, and they had an iguana island.
I noticed you have all your limbs. So,
Yes,
so it
all my
worked out.
appendages, yes.
You didn't leave part of Jennifer in the
Yes.
islands, right?
Yes.
That's
and then
amazing.
last year, we went to Florida, and I swam with the manatees.
Oh,
Have
those
you
are
heard of
cool.
that?
They're huge.
They're huge. Yeah. That was a wild
Well,
experience.
now you're swimming with the fish. So you
Yes.
So this was easy for you. He's tame, but when the food runs out, you're in trouble.
Okay. I brought snacks.
That's absolutely great. Whoever heard of that? This is what I mean about doing interviews. You find out things about people, but you also find out like how many people are going to go, what? You can swim with pigs? And so but you're an animal lover. You have crossed the line. You could end up as the crazy cat lady. You're going to have to be careful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Positively.
So do most of the animals get along?
No, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have natural kind of,
For the most
this
part.
is my area. And
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, it's quite surprising that I have 5 cats. One of them, which is semi-feral, and they just have this knowledge somehow, this internal knowledge that these birds are not prey, that they're pets. So it's pretty remarkable that they will go catch wild birds and bring them to us, but
they won't touch the ones that live there.
our domesticated or wild birds, ours, alone. It's pretty neat.
That is great. So you've written a book about 2 animals that you got to know and got to see their personality. And so is there going to be a swimming pig book? I mean, you could do a whole one on swimming with different animals and
That's true.
and how they're different, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, but that swimming with the pigs, that's ended up on New York Times bestseller. I'm just, that's amazing. I'm gonna go look that up.
Yeah.
I really am. It's like
You should, definitely.
and so I have to ask this because you had mentioned that you love to read aloud. You get reading, right? So at the same point, have you ever thought about writing beyond writing children's book? Is there a Jennifer book in the works?
Yeah, I have thought
The
of
girl
it.
that swims with pigs book. Is there going to be a book about the adventures of Jennifer,
I thought about it. I don't think I'm quite that interesting enough to have my own biography, but
Well, you're pretty interesting.
we haven't even scraped the surface, Bob.
No.
I do have other children's books in motion. I want to continue on with the adventures of Big Boy Bentley. In this particular book, Bentley takes a bath. And then I was thinking along the lines of Bentley's adventures going into like Bentley goes to the dentist, Bentley goes to the doctor, things like that to help kids to get comfortable with the concept of going to these places, making them comfortable, being like, oh, when they have to go to the dentist, then, oh, I remember when Bentley had to go to the dentist, and maybe take the book with them when they go to the dentist just to get some sort of security. I have lots of ideas. So,
Well, I think when the thing about children is, and I've done childcare for
yeah.
over 30 years, and it's like not I'm comparing them to little animals, but they say that a child develops his personality by the time they're 6.
Yes.
So psychologically they develop, and at 6 they're pretty bad. And I'm here to tell you, I don't believe that's true. I think their personalities start happening the minute they start moving, because there's just certain things you can see in children when they're, not 6 yet, that you can see it developing, ones that are able to see organization. So when it comes time to pick stuff up or clean stuff up or whatever, some will jump on. Others will say, hey, help me, right? And so they start developing that different parts, different aspects of their personality as they go. And so I could see where you could easily make an adaptation where an animal like going to the dentist. How many kids are afraid of going to the dentist? What are they really afraid of? Children are growing. They're afraid of the unknown, or they have heard something. Oh, I went to the dentist, and so it's all they have to go by.
Yes.
And so their personalities are different. Being timid doesn't mean you're not brave.
Right.
Being timid means you're timid. Bravery actually is going ahead and doing what you're scared of doing.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean you're not scared, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And so with children, that's why I could see that they can relate to an animal, right? And so that, to me, that would be really good for the book, for a child to be able to say, I can do that.
Yep.
I can do it.
Yes.
Right? Bentley did it. I can do it.
Yes.
Even though Bentley's twice their size.
Maybe 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. So Bentley's still around.
He is. And in fact, I almost brought him as a surprise guest.
That would have been pretty cool. I don't know how Kurt would have taken that. Bentley would have been over there trying to push buttons,
Yeah, I actually called yesterday to see if I could talk to Stacy and say, hey, could I bring Bentley? And making sure everybody was like pet friendly. And I didn't get a chance to do that, but I thought about it. My little superstar, big superstar.
If you could write the scenario for the not just the writing the books, but if you could say, look, this is really where I want to invest my life. This is where I think my life would have the greatest benefit to others. Where would that be?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Even though I would say that working with animals is my passion, I do feel like I have a great connection with people as well. And I enjoy working with people. When I speak with them, they feel heard and they feel like somebody cares. And that's a great feeling to be able to provide someone. So just anywhere that I go and anything that I do that's in an industry of helping, I think is going to be the most beneficial all around.
So you guys are going to be the first ones to start People Rescue. We're going to create spaces for them. We're just going to do People Rescue, help them out of the hole.
I was thinking like senior centers or retirement homes that are geared around people with pets.
Oh.
Because so many places don't allow pets, and these people that can't take care of themselves anymore go to a facility and they can't take their loved ones with them. And I can't imagine the heartbreak that the person suffers, the animal suffers. And I just visualize a place where people could go get the care that they need, but also be able to have their companion at their side.
I think that when I was in college, although I changed my major many times. At one point, it was gerontology, and now I'm a geriatric, so it worked. Right? But you're absolutely right. There are that places where I did my internship at Veterans Hospital in Yountville, which has everybody from ambulatory to total care. And, you're absolutely right. It's funny, but you bring an animal in close proximity, a dog, a cat, whatever, and they just light up, because that is something that is common, unless somebody's had a really bad experience. Most people love animals, right? like the hugging the cheetah may create a bad experience for me. I want nothing to do with cats after that. But you're absolutely right. And so I could see where, because because of service animals and et cetera, you do have hotels and that accommodate, you can bring your pet. Although I don't know if Bentley's.
Nope, he breaks the weight rule.
Does he?
Yes,
There's a weight rule.
every time. We just need to put like a little top hat and jeans and sneakers on him and sneak him in like a teenager. I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to have to work something out. Of course, if he's on his hind legs, he's probably taller than you, right?
He's taller, yeah. He's, on his hind legs, he's like 7'2".
Gosh, that's a big dog.
Yeah, 7 foot on his hind legs and about 170 pounds.
Wow.
So he's a big boy, big love bug.
Yeah, he don't like want to sit in your lap, does he?
He wants to sit in your lap. He wants to lay as close to you as possible. And it's funny, when he lays in the bed, he lays like a person. He has his head on the pillow and his body is long ways. So like he's very sensitive. He has lots of human characteristics. So
I think they all do.
yeah.
You just got to find them, right?
Well, I was going to tell you, my dentist, he actually has dogs in his office
Oh, that's a good idea.
that provide moral support for the children or adults who have anxiety. And what's interesting about it is the dogs will stay behind the office area until they sense that they're needed, and then they go into the room and lay their head on the lap of the person who is in need without any words being spoken.
Wow.
It's amazing.
What dentist is that? I'm going.
Dr. Katua here in Marysville.
Oh.
Him and his wife, or he's the dentist, his wife is the office manager, and they have their dogs there, and it's just a soothing experience, and I highly recommend it.
So, all right, back to your books.
Yes.
All right. So, did you have to find an illustrator? So you wrote the book.
Yes.
And then did you have to find somebody to edit the book? I mean, what was the process once you wrote it? Because you had the idea and you had to write it. It was like a script. And then so somebody had to be able to edit it. Somebody had to be able to illustrate it.
The illustration was definitely I would say one of the most important parts, and also challenging to be able to find somebody and to be able to express your ideas to them back and forth to come up with the same concept and ideas on paper. And I went to a website that offered the services and had the illustrators provide examples to me of their work. I said what I wanted. I said, a picture of a duck, a dog, a person, and then they would send samples of their work. And then out of that, I made my choice of what fit with my idea in my mind the most. And then I worked with her, and she's amazing. I would send over stick figures, literally stick figures on a piece of paper, and send it over to her and then tell her, this is what I visualize with my words. And then she could take my words and my stick figures and create these beautiful illustrations. And
that's amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing.
Well, I noticed that there is somewhat a similarity. Is it the same artist for both of them?
Yes, same illustrator.
Okay.
And so, yes, this is supposed to be me.
Yeah. I told you earlier, women change weekly, okay? So you get the new book with Bentley, you'll have a different hairstyle.
Right. And then Fran, as I had said, that she is in the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. And in the back of this particular book, there is a photograph with me and the real Fran at the museum. So this one's very near and dear to my heart just because, she is no longer with us. But both of them have really special messages that mean a lot to me that I really want the children to read and to understand, because I feel like with social media being as prevalent as it is and what is being portrayed to children all day, every day, as far as the makeup tutorials and the TikTok videos and things like that, the self-image is really important to let them learn and know that it's not about what's on the outside, it's what it's about on the inside.
Well, and it's not like being somebody else. There is something about not just appearance, but you're supposed to be like that. You need to be you. And most very successful, whether they're athletes or musicians or whatever, they do have people that have an influence, but they shift that influence to be themselves. And that's one of the best ways to be successful. So then you're learning from what others have done. I mean, it's great. You've written these books. If somebody is wanting to write a children's book, you could say, look, it can be done. You can do this, right? And whereas your inspiration came from a duck.
Yes.
I'm still waiting for the Swimming with Pigs book. That's got to show up somewhere. But and then a dog, and they're from real life, and our experiences in real life. You would think, well, can I write about that? Well, now you're talking about writing about it so that it can influence a child to be encouraged, right? And so it is very different. I think people think, oh, it's a child's book, right? So that should be easier. But I don't think that writing, in the first place, writing, coming up with words that someone else can get the picture. And so even though they're illustrated, the writing goes beyond that. It creates, we call radio theater of the mind. Because on radio, you can't see it.
Right.
And so, if I say things, it has to create that picture.
Yes.
Right. So writing a child's book, you're having to write it in such a way that little guy or girl gets the picture.
Right.
They get the picture. Oh,
exactly.
She's trying to tell me it's okay to be me. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you've got some ideas and you've gotten this far with that. So first off, how can somebody get the two that you have? Where can they get those?
So I usually have copies on hand to sell to individuals. However, the best way to get them is from Amazon.
Okay.
It's Amazon. You can get them from 2-day Prime, free shipping if you have Prime. I guess if you don't have Prime, you can't.
If you get their credit card, you get it.
So that's the best place. There are 2 copies for sale at Creative Interiors on Plymouth Street.
Oh, okay. I've been in this place. Amazing.
Yeah, nice store.
Yeah.
I love supporting local, and if I could get more stores locally to sell them, that would be great. But in the meantime, Amazon is the best place to pick up these books.
So in the meantime, you'll be continuing to rescue animals and continue to
yes.
So if they want more information about what Jennifer Lizardo is doing, what her next project is, do you have a Facebook or a web page?
I'm currently working on the web page for the Animal Instincts.
Good.
Nonprofit wildlife rescue. But I do have Facebook under my name, Jennifer Lizardo, where I put a lot of information out there, and I'm happy to coach people, guide people, provide my phone number for anybody that has any questions, whether it be regarding an animal or writing a book or pretty much anything.
So if you have rescued a cat and somebody wants a cat, do you do that? Do you allow you seem like the kind of person, they are never leaving me. I mean, I hate to say it, but you sound like that animal's not going anywhere. I've gotten attached and that's it.
Okay. Well, I am like that. I am like that. I'm pretty bad about that. I have rescued and rehomed a few, but it is very difficult. I'm not going to lie. I do get attached very easily. But I find the appropriate homes for the ones that I can. And but yeah, it's called foster fail is what it is. Foster fail. I'm pretty good at that. So but I'm trying to get better. trying to get better. Are you looking for a cat, dog?
No.
Come on.
Oh, we just looked at one. I unfortunately, I'm one of those guys. We had a dog for, I don't know, 16, 18 years. It was very close. And when that dog died, it's been very hard for me to even think about. So my older brother said to me, well, this is how you do it. You wait till you're old enough and you get a dog that's going to outlive you. And I'm like, so you're going to do this to the dog?
No, I don't think that's.
I said, that's bad advice, right? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So, no, I ask you because sometimes that's the rescue places are really some of the best places to get an animal.
Right.
Because they have been rescued, right? And they're in good shape and blah, 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 right?
Yes.
And so I just wondered if that was going to be part of the moving forward, right?
Part
if
of
you're
moving
going to be able to do that. But you definitely seem like the kind of person that is not going to let go. The people be trying to take the animal and you're like, okay, just a few more minutes, right? Yeah. I have a friend that has ducks and I didn't know it. They're ducks that don't fly.
Oh, are they Muscovies?
I don't know. That might be it.
Yeah.
So he's got like 20 of them, and it's funniest videos ever. They love him. They run around with him, and right.
Yeah.
And he's just right. They're really cool. So somebody, I guess, had a couple of ducks and put it on Facebook Marketplace, I think. And just said, hey, I have to get rid of these ducks. I love them. I want them to go to a good home. Well, they happen to be the same kind of ducks he has. So two new fellas have just shown up in the duck crew.
Wonderful.
And it's like, so there are, I think there's a lot of people that we only seem to think of dogs and cats.
Right.
But I love it that your very first book was not about a dog or a cat. I mean, not that I don't like dog and cat books.
Right.
But having it about a duck and a duck that had a problem that was going to make it really not fit in the duck world.
Disability for sure.
You know what I mean? And so, that's true rescue. So anyway, I commend you for that. So how do they, one more time, how do they get a hold of Jennifer if they want more information about the books, or since you're on this endeavor, which really isn't new, you've been doing it. You just now you're a nonprofit doing it.
Right.
And you live at a zoo.
Pretty much. Yes, pretty much. Well, I was going to tell you real quick about a duck story.
Go ahead.
There was a duck that was on the side of the road, a mallard duck that was getting attacked by crows. Oh. Crows were pecking at it, attacking it, and this sweet lady pulled over on the side of the road, wrapped it in her coat, put it in her car, and then called me. And I took the duck home. He couldn't walk. I nursed him back to health, and then I released him because he's a wild mallard duck. And he hasn't left. So it's not just me keeping them.
He knows when he's found a good thing.
It's not just me keeping them.
Yeah, he's keeping you. The mallard has decided you're his. That's great.
So he has the option to leave whenever he would like.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
you don't have any rescued chickens, I'm sure.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Okay. So I rescued from Kohl's parking lot. There was a chicken that looked like it was deceased. So I jumped out of my car and I went over, and it was not deceased. And it was looking at me and I was looking at it. And then I just picked it up, got in my car, and drove home with this, happened to be a rooster in my arm. And I was like, okay, please don't peck my eyes out.
And he's not leaving either.
So I got him home. I secluded him and nursed him back to health to where he could walk again. You wouldn't even know that he couldn't walk at one certain point in time. And he's running around happy as can be. And I tell people this story and they're like, so did you take him back to Kohl's?
No, he ain't going back to Kohl's. They're better French fries at the Lizardo home. Whatever people feed them, right?
Exactly.
I do have to tell you, when I was a kid, I was probably about 15. I went to work at a hog farm, and it was a really unique experience, right? Raising hogs, right?
Yeah.
And so, everything from the time they're, the little piglets till the time that, because we had this one dog, his name was Pappy. Pappy was like over 2,000 pounds. He was huge, huge, huge. He was like a prize hog, right?
Could he swim?
I was going to tell you, I don't think any of these hogs swim. And then I worked there for a while. And they said, look, you've done really good. We want you to go up to the chicken ranch. And I said, you have a chicken ranch? He said, yeah. What do you think all those buildings were up there? So they had 8 houses with 10,000 hens in each house. 80,000 hens.
Wow.
Crazy experience for a kid. And they were layers, and that was the whole thing, But I got to learn the whole process of how they, take care of him and what they do before they become Campbell soup, really.
Yeah.
But it's funny how the reason I'm telling you the story is because with the pig farm, I was so busy just doing the stuff they had me do. But when I got to the chicken ranch, there was a chicken there that had fallen down between the pallets. And so, I saved her, got her out of there. Right. And because I couldn't tell which one she was, right, we took this spray that we used, and so I was able to write her name on her back, right, which I called her Brack, right? Brack, right? And so that's what, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
So Brack and I became friends, right, until Brack couldn't lay eggs anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
What an amazing experience you had.
To be around animals, right?
Yeah.
And you just love it. And you would think, well, because you'd go through those houses and they'd, peck your shoelaces loose, and you'd have to be trying to deal with your job, and they're all over the place, right? So I wonder just how many animals before you guys got to get more property. When you get the cheetah, it needs room to run.
The cheetah. I have it on my list. No, we got to get you a hug from the cheetah.
All right, just one more time. How can they get a hold of Jennifer to get more information about your books, about your new nonprofit?
Okay, you can contact me on Facebook.
Okay.
Jennifer Lizardo on Facebook. My books are available on Amazon, and or you can reach me directly to get a copy. I'm happy to do that. And like I said, any other questions that you might have, feel free to reach out to me.
So the new nonprofit where people would be able to donate to help rescue animals is called what?
Animal Instincts Wildlife Rescue. So we are a nonprofit organization.
Wildlife
just
Rescue.
Got started. So
I had to get them to put that at the bottom. Animal Instincts Wildlife Rescue.
Yes.
And they'll be able to do that. Jennifer, thanks so much for coming on. I'm glad we reconnected.
Me too.
Now that I found out. I've known you for all these
I know.
You just couldn't wait to shock me with that.
I couldn't wait. I knew you would remember. But I'm pleasantly surprised that you actually did remember once I said. So.
I do.
Yeah.
I think you had dark hair then.
Busted. Oh, very good. Very good.
But it's really pleasant to get to know you, because even back then, although I had met you, really didn't know you.
Right.
And so seeing you've really become a wonderful young woman, I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
I love your passion for animals, and just how that translates between the animals and the kids, and really they're all the same.
Yeah.
They need a mom, and it sounds like you got the mom thing dialed in. So I can't wait to see how you're going to mother the lion, the cheetah, the gorilla, and you'll be like the Misfit Zoo up in Folsom,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. Misfit Zoo. I like it.
Little kids doing field trips. Well, listen, this is Fish. You've been in the tank with Fish and with Jennifer Lizardo, my longtime friend that I'd forgotten about. And you have a great opportunity. Go to Amazon and get the books, one about Bentley and the other about Fran. And so it gives you opportunity to pick them up. They're great for your kids. They teach the lessons that children need to learn. But I just want to say this. I worked in childcare for a long time, and there's two things that I told all parents that children absolutely need. The first is whatever you're doing, it's consistency. It's the things you do over and over again. Secondarily, it's read to them. If you read to them, it'll become sight words. They'll point to those words and they begin to read at an early age, and they learn a love for reading, because when you read to your child, you bond. And it just is a very encouraging thing. So you can get Jennifer's books and sit down and tell them the story of Fran and the story of Bentley. I want to thank you for watching. This has been Fish in the Tank with Jennifer Lizardo.
Thank you, Bob.